And so similarly, we can think of all the miracles that Yoganandaji did. And I don't know about you, but sometimes we can think like, gosh, wouldn't it just be great if we could invite Master over for tea and say, could you just do a little miracle just for me, just so I could see it happen, and it'd just be really nice. It's my birthday, and so on, you know. Or, you know, there's just something about that craves that. But it's important to remember that Swamiji was with Master, and he witnessed many miracles, and he also heard from others who had witnessed them also with Master. But Swamiji said that the greatest miracle of all is one somehow I'm not able to quite express clearly. He said, on the day that I met Master, after giving the vows of discipleship, after he gave me my vows of discipleship and of monasticism when Swamiji became a monk, he said he then put his finger right here above my heart. And he said, and his finger vibrated there, even violently, for almost 2 minutes. And he said, and from that day on, somehow my consciousness was forever changed. And he said, to me, that's the greatest miracle of all. And of course, it was a very personal experience for him because we didn't know Swamiji before and after, so we can't, give our own impressions of that. We only know him after. And what we can say is, well, Swamiji, your consciousness and what you've given all of us and what you've done for Yoganandaji is a miracle. We can witness that. But this particular one, we can't necessarily know fully from Swamiji's point of view, but we can know it from our own point of view. We have these kinds of miracles happening to us in our lives all the time at Master's hand or at the hand of Divine Mother. A friend of mine was just telling me how that here's a very simple one. This is a different story, but we desperately needed some books because we had a class starting. And so I sent out a little message saying, help, can someone please can we figure out how we can get these books? Is anyone going to Bangalore? Maybe we can get the books from there. We need them by the end of the week and so on. Somebody wrote back and said, oh yeah, someone in my office is leaving tonight from Bangalore. I'll drive to the Bangalore Center, get the books, give them to my office friend. He'll arrive in, where is it that you live? Perambur. He'll arrive at Perambur, and then someone has to meet him there and get the books from him and so on. And so it was just within 23 hours the books arrived in Chennai. I mean, it was just amazing how effortlessly it was. So something similar to that happened recently. And I said to the person involved, thank you so much for, just producing these books out of thin air. And the person said, listen, when I try to do things for Master, it just flows like that. And then he added, even in my office, all these deadlines and difficulties were in schedule, obstacles were in my way, and suddenly they all evaporated. And I was able to come to the center and free to do all the things that I wanted. And so we see these kinds of things all the time. I remember inviting 2 people over for dinner with a group when Nayaswami Jaya was coming, and so we were having a dinner at a restaurant. They said, we can't because we have an office function, and it's very important that we attend the team building moment, and so on. And so then at the time of dinner, they showed up. And I said, well, what happened? How did you get here? They said, oh, well, everybody sort of changed their minds and decided, let's just watch a movie. And so we thought, yes, we'll watch the movie too. And they left the movie and came here and were with us. And, there was another experience where I said to someone, can you please come? Not please come, but it'd be nice if you could come. Because again, I didn't want to put pressure on him. But it'd be nice if you could come. I definitely cannot. Today is one day when I absolutely cannot. And then when he showed up at the door, I said, what happened? He said, the fire drill. Fire drill at the office. So, in the fire drill, the way, I understood fire drills is everybody goes out of the building and then, they count that fine and then everybody goes back in. But in this case, it just took off. Came here. I remember once I was having difficulty with we were having a cash flow crisis, and so I was trying to figure out. We were in the process of moving, and so that it always costs money to move. I mean, it's strange because it doesn't seem like it should, but it does. It just costs money to move, and it's not just buying the new place or getting new things. It's like transporting the stuff, or this broke as we were, these kinds of unexpected costs. So that's what had happened, and so I was feeling that, well, it's too bad and it's pretty hopeless. And as I prayed to Divine Mother, I know nothing can be done about this situation. It would be nice, but it would be nice. In other words, I wasn't saying, Divine Mother, fix it, which is probably what I should have done if I were more trusting. But I knew it was hopeless, and that's how I prayed. It was sincere, at least. I know it's hopeless. I know it's impossible. But it would be nice. And I didn't mean, but it would be nice. I mean, I did, but it would be nice. I just had this downward expectation. And so then the next day when I went to pay one of these bills, the person said, "Oh, don't pay me." And I said, "What do you mean? I asked you to buy this for me." They said, No, we all wanted to give it to you as a going away present. And I wondered, like, going away? Like, thank God you're going away. Take this gift. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So... But, the message for today, Living Wisely, Living Well, said, be sure to laugh 3 times from the heart. So I'm trying to kind of find ways that we can all do that. So then I had to make the last payment to the insurance company for some medical procedures that had happened. And I had been making payments, and it had taken a long time, and then there was a time when I had to reduce the payments, then I had to increase the payments back to normal. The point was that I got to know this insurance agent very well, very friendly and fine, as long as I was sending the money. And then so finally I called to say, okay, listen, I'm going to send you this last payment. And she said, no, don't send it. She said, we have discovered an error where we have overcharged you, and in fact, we need to send you a bunch of money back. And so, again, if you need any proof of God, just witness the fact that if the insurance company is giving you money, there must be a God. I mean, I would have never known if they had miscalculated. There was no reason for them to tell me. There was no inquiry or anything. They could have just went, ha-ha, sucker, or anything. There was no reason for them to. So anyway, that was a very sweet little thing. But these little things are precious. And it's very good to write them down in a journal, for example, or commit them to memory, so that when you come back to in a time of despair, you can look at this and say, I don't feel God at all. And then you read all these things and you think, oh my God, how could I ever doubt these miracles? Again, miracles, because it's like, well, but nobody levitated. It's like, yeah, okay, but again, what would levitation do? Except you have to kind of watch out for the fan now. Trilanga Swami said that to one of his disciples who was just desperate for a miracle. And he said, fine. And so suddenly the Murti of Kali next to them came to life and started talking to them and said some nice things and then turned back into the Murti. And Trilanga Swami said, now what have you got? Now, it's possible that such an experience could change your consciousness forever. It's true. But you can have that kind of experience just through a meditation as well. You can have one insight about, for example, how to let go of a certain hurt that we've been holding on to. And in that clarity, we can let it go, and we let it go forever. That's different from when we let it go for an hour, and then we go, yeah, but still. Then that's when we're still working with it, like a yo-yo. But when we finally just go and let it go, then that changes us forever, and that's a miracle. Partly as I'm referencing to Swamiji's miracle, as he said, somehow after the 2 minutes that Master blessed me, my consciousness changed forever. So if he describes that as his greatest miracle, the greatest miracle Master performed, then we have to say, well, the greatest miracle Master performed for Swamiji, he's performing for us all the time. I mean, even the fact, if you look at how your life has been changing since you started meditating, Even if you look at how you've, just compare your consciousness to what it was before. And I say that kindly. I don't mean like, you should, you remember the way you were before? I don't mean it like that. But it's like, think of how less agitated, perhaps, you are constantly. Meaning how, at least for me, I lived in a state of constant agitation. And how maybe you feel less of that now. Of how, as people will often observe about a meditator, gosh, it's harder to make you angry now. Used to be any little thing and you would just snap, and now you find yourself as a meditator that your threshold, your tolerance for irritation gets higher and higher and higher. Isn't that a miracle? Because what else can do that?